So the 2026 World Cup is officially over. The final whistle has blown, the golden trophy went up into the night sky, the wild celebrations have finally wrapped up, and those massive stadium lights are slowly powering down. But for football's biggest stars, a completely different competition has just kicked off. Welcome to this explainer where we're going to unpack the incredible stories, the backstage drama, and the absolutely staggering figures of the 2026 summer transfer market. There are no referees here, no penalty shootouts, and definitely no VAR. This is a pure game of strategy, legacy, and unbelievable sums of money. But here's a question for you. Who is actually going to win the summer? Because the high-stakes drama isn't happening on a green pitch anymore. It's happening right now, behind closed doors, across time zones, and in the secretive corridors of power at the world's absolute biggest clubs. Honestly, the stakes have literally never been higher for the players you love and the teams you support. Our sources hit the nail on the head with this quote. This new competition is unfolding inside offices, on private jets, in quiet meetings, and through totally secret phone calls. It's a ruthless battle between visionary agents, demanding players, and billionaire owners. Today, we're going to look at the undisputed kings of the sport making historic moves, the young challengers who just used the World Cup to totally skyrocket their value, and the absolute financial madness that is rewriting football history as we speak.
Part 1, Legends on the Move.
Okay, let's jump right into this. For 9 unbelievable years, the Egyptian king Mohamed Salah was so much more than just a Liverpool player, right? He was the beating heart of that club. Whether you're a kid just learning to kick a ball in the street, a teenager idolizing his every move, or an adult fan who's been following the game for decades, he inspired millions across Egypt, Africa, and the entire globe. But every legendary story has to turn the page eventually. Following his official departure at the end of the 2025-2026 season, he waved a seriously emotional goodbye to Anfield, standing right there, surrounded by the trophies he helped capture. The massive million-dollar question hanging over the football world right now is, where exactly will Mohamed Salah build his next kingdom? And speaking of building kingdoms, the passing of the torch is well underway. We've got Kylian Mbappé proudly standing at the Santiago Bernabeu, flanked by Real Madrid president Florentino Perez and absolute footballing royalty Zinedine Zidane. Mbappé isn't just the rising star anymore. He's gearing up to be the absolute main man in Madrid. Under the watchful eye of past legends, he is stepping into a role that demands nothing short of perfection. And, for sure, Champions League glory. Speaking of stepping into massive shoes, listen to this totally fearless quote from Lamine Yamal. Messi has made his path. I will make my own. I'll try to follow that legacy. Just imagine for a second being a teenager and stepping directly into the shadow of Lionel Messi at Barcelona. It takes a really special kind of confidence to acknowledge that heavy history while firmly asserting that, hey, you are writing your own story. And Barcelona clearly believes he is exactly that special. Yamal hasn't just been handed a new contract. He has inherited the iconic number 10 shirt. We're talking the very jersey worn by Messi, Ronaldinho, and Maradona. Alongside this legendary number, he signed a blockbuster extension locking him in until 2031, which reportedly pays him a mind-blowing £325,000 a week. That is an enormous amount of trust placed firmly on an 18-year-old's shoulders. Now, while these young kings are establishing their reigns, and veterans like Salah are seeking new homes, things look a bit different over in Saudi Arabia. Contrast those moving legends with a totally defiant Cristiano Ronaldo, standing firm in his Al Nassr colors. For over 2 decades, he's been shattering records and cementing himself as one of the greatest goal scorers in history. But unlike the uncertainties surrounding other legends right now, Ronaldo's path is crystal clear. He's locked into a contract extension with Al Nassr until June 2027. Which means, guys, we are likely watching the final, epic chapter of his unbelievable club career. Part 2, World Cup Breakout Stars. 7. That is the magic number. That's how many assists Bayern Munich's Michael Olise racked up at this World Cup. And with that number, he actually broke Pélé's all-time record for the most assists in a single tournament. Just let that sink in, breaking a record held by Pelé. Naturally, Real Madrid is already dreaming of uniting him with Kylian Mbappé, while Bayern Munich is absolutely desperate to keep him. If a transfer does happen here, we are looking at a potential all-time record fee, no doubt. And then you have the beautiful, absolute unpredictability of football. On one side, you have 26-year-old Orlando Gil from Paraguay. As recently as December 2024, the guy was playing reserve soccer. Fast forward to the World Cup, and he makes 2 penalty saves to literally knock out Germany. On the other side, the feel-good story of the summer, 40-year-old Vozinha from Cabo Verde, a free agent who pulled off a heroic 0-0 draw against the eventual champions, Spain. He gained over 29 million Instagram followers overnight and is now being linked to Inter Miami. It's just wild. It proves football can completely change your life, whether you're 26 or 40. Of course, not every story is a fairy tale. Some are just wonderfully weird. After a total roller coaster tournament where he scored a hat trick, led a massive Viking Rose celebration, and then suffered a painful quarterfinal exit against England, Erling Haaland headed home. And in a totally bizarre twist, he stepped off the plane in Oslo casually carrying a taxidermied raccoon. I mean, you literally cannot write this stuff. It's a hilarious, super strange footnote to what was a really intense summer for the Norwegian powerhouse. Now, speaking of intense, we have to trace the pretty controversial saga of US MNT striker Folarin Balogun. It started on match day with an accidental red card against Bosnia. But just days later, things escalated dramatically when the White House and President Trump privately appealed to FIFA regarding the punishment. Ultimately, FIFA stepped in and suspended the one-match ban. It was definitely one of the biggest talking points of the whole tournament. But for the 25-year-old goal scorer, he really just wants to get back out there and play. A summer transfer away from Monaco seems super likely, as he looks to leave all this political noise behind and just focus on finding the back of the net.
Part 3. Egypt's New Generation.
This World Cup was basically the ultimate shop window for these next guys. Haitham Hassan used his explosive speed to catch the entire world's attention. Fans are literally constantly refreshing their feeds right now to see if he'll move to Real Oviedo or make a massive jump over to Celtic. Similarly, Imam Ashur brought just incredible emotion and grit to the midfield, which was highlighted by a super powerful goal against Belgium. His performances have firmly restarted all those discussions about a return to European football, with Celtic once again heavily in the mix. They both use the global stage exactly the way you're supposed to. And if we're talking about building for the future, the story of 18-year-old Hamza Abdelkarim might just be the most exciting one of all. He's officially had his purchase option triggered by Barcelona. The timeline here is just incredible, departing the Al Ahly Academy in 2026, arriving straight at Barcelona Athletic, and now holding a massive contract commitment until 2029. Just imagine the incredible journey of a young kid from Egypt, now walking the exact same training grounds as Imal and past club legends. It's immense pressure, for sure, but what a beautiful pathway to the absolute highest level of European football.
Part 4. Record-breaking summer signings.
I mean, clubs are just absolutely breaking the bank right now to lock down the next generation of dominance. We're talking nearly 100 million euros spent on Mateus Fernandes by Tottenham, and over 100 million for Sandro Tonali. Elliot Anderson moving to Man City for 135 million euros. The sheer scale of investment this summer proves that this secret competition happening in the boardrooms, it's being fought just as fiercely as any World Cup final on the pitch. But the real shocker, the number that made everyone's jaw drop, 137.3 million euros. That is the massive transfer fee for Morgan Rogers to Chelsea, easily making him the most expensive signing of the window so far. It just highlights how unbelievably high the stakes have become in this hidden game. If you want the prize, you have to be willing to pay an absolute king's ransom. Part 5. The next great chapter. All of this madness means that every major player out there is facing a massive, defining choice right now. Take Vinicius Jr., standing there, super emotional, clutching the best FIFA Men's Player award. He is at the absolute pinnacle of the sport. His speed destroys defenses, and his skill excites millions every week. But even he faces the ultimate dilemma. After reaching the very top of the mountain with Real Madrid, does he stay and renew his contract, or does he leave to conquer a brand new league? The power is entirely in his hands. Which brings us to the final and probably most provocative question of the summer. And I really want to put this directly to you. Whether you're a kid dreaming of stepping onto the pitch, a teenager constantly refreshing your feed for the latest rumors, or a lifelong adult fan of the beautiful game. Where should Mohamed Salah go next? Does he stay in Europe, move to a totally new continent, or has he already done enough to simply be an untouchable legend wherever he lands? Make your predictions, guys.